All right.
Are we
I think we're
back?
live.
Live? I'm trying to straighten my hat here. It seems crooked. There we go.
So we
We are
both
live. Yes.
admitted to each other just before the call that we haven't done anything.
It's not that I haven't done anything. I've done. Does YouTube count as research? I feel like I've done some research. I've read
Oh, is
titles
that
of
what I do all
articles.
day?
Yeah,
Research.
right.
That's it. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, Fireship, the Primeagen, and Theo T3. I mean, that's research. That's something.
That's it. Yeah.
I think what I'm suffering from, and maybe you're in the same boat as I am, is a little bit of they're calling it AI burnout, but like a little bit of just being tired of this one topic that seems to be
Yeah.
dominating all of. God, it's still great. All of the news,
Right.
unfortunately.
Except
And
I think I do a pretty good job of my YouTube feed is not
yeah,
all AI.
okay, that's good.
There's a lot of recently it's
Bluey?
been huh?
Sorry, is it all bluey?
No, no, although I saw a pretty recent what is that? Not Song Exploder, but 20,000 Hertz. Do you know
Oh,
that
I haven't heard of
podcast?
that. I do not.
Oh, wow. You might like
Today I
that.
learned. All right.
Um he had a I think it was him, Dallas Taylor had an interview with the guy who does the music for Bluey, and it was
Oh,
fantastic.
cool.
It is so cool.
Huh.
Have you watched any of Bluey?
I have not, and I'm liking
Oh,
the site design of 20,000 hertz. I think it's 20k.org. Maybe.
Bluey is such a wonderful. I mean, even if you don't have children, I think it's still great. Especially there's one like final episode, and
Hmm.
the main song throughout or through part of it is by this Meg Washington
Okay.
singer, and it's just incredible where they're selling their house and actually, I think we talked about it before. I mean, when they were selling their house, there was actually a listing on the real on a real estate site for the house in Bluey. But yeah, it is such a great show, so beautiful.
It looks really cool, and I think the episode you're talking about, according to Gemini, at least, is like a critically acclaimed episode of the
Oh, okay,
series. That's like quite well known or well
yeah.
regarded. Yeah. I, I mean, listen, knowing nothing about Bluey, I feel like listening to that episode would probably be the wrong start for me. But it does look pretty cool.
It's
So it's mostly about like the sound or the story behind the sounds that you're familiar with, or
yeah,
songs that you're familiar with. Okay.
yeah. And I'd say
Cool.
even if you haven't seen Bluey, it's a neat just
Yeah.
because he brings in a lot of different types of sounds and you know, he's got
Yeah.
right near the beginning of the episode he talks about how he went into this piano store and found a piano he wanted to buy, but the people there said, we cannot sell this to you. This is the example of what a badly tuned piano is like. This is we show this to show this is
What not to do.
what not to do, and we can't sell it to you. And so it was hard for him to find a piano that was sufficiently bad to
Yeah.
sound out of tune, and which was what
It's
he
like
wanted for the show.
delightfully
Yeah,
imperfect. That's really
yeah.
cool.
It's
I
such a
think
neat. Yeah.
I've seen some stuff around the story behind guitar sounds, I guess, because there's
Mm,
probably series like this in all types of things. But one of them was about the Kurt Cobain guitar sound, and I guess a lot
mm,
of what he did was make things out of tune or buy cheap strings
right,
or like things that would fray would give like a certain sound which he liked, but he didn't want things to sound perfect. He wanted them to sound organic, I guess.
right.
So he would try to tune between chords as well, so he could almost
Mm,
like straddle two chords at once,
right,
which I thought was neat, like a little bit of dissonance with the harmony. I,
right.
I I thought that was just brilliant. That I was over the moon to hear something like this. I thought that
Did
was
I
cool.
did I tell you
The
about
out of tune piano sounds amazing too. Sorry, go
the
ahead.
gift? Did I tell you about the gift I 3D printed for my brother-in-law this past
Oh,
Christmas? I basically a sound box.
oh, cool.
So
Wow.
I 3D printed, and I don't know if 3D printing was the best thing. I probably should have been at least some of the sides in wood, but
Okay.
basically a box that was 12 inches square by about
Hmm.
4 inches high, and screwed it all together, and it had on one side different patterns in the 3D print.
Hmm.
So different ways of like scratching it and rolling things across it and hitting it. but also on the other side more of a bowl
Mhm.
in the printed into the plastic, and had a marble so it could roll. And depending on how that rolled, also had two contact mics on the inside, that were picking up the sound and then
That's cool.
going out to a stereo output. And so it's just and then there was also
It's like an instrument, right? It
like
sounds like an
kind of like
instrument.
an
Yeah.
instrument, like two
Mhm.
different metal, thin metal rods, maybe eighth of an inch rods that were probably 20 inches tall, sticking out of it, so you could like pluck it, as well
Oh,
as almost like a
like
cheap.
a theremin?
Well, except I mean, you had to
No?
touch it.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. It
And
wasn't
also
sensitive.
three metal like things that were different lengths, so you could tap them in different and they get different
Sounding more
sounds.
like a weapon, though. The more metal parts you talk.
It was getting it. I mean, I had to take it all apart because I took it on the plane with me.
Okay.
um and some of those bits of metal were sharp, so I had it checked in my mother's luggage.
Mhm.
um and because
Y
I mean
y you're
I got
you're using the old lady as cover here. Your
that's
poor
right.
mother.
So
Jeez.
I got like a sheet of, I don't know, some metal, and I used tin snips to cut it. I mean, it was like, so it's like really
So rough.
gnarly edges.
Yeah.
But he had a fun time playing around with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was it for him? Does he have kids? Was there
it
a
was for
story
him. It
behind
was
like
like
the sound like he
it was.
okay.
He's a musician and
There we
likes
go.
weird
Yeah.
instruments.
Gotcha. Because
So
it
it was
sounds
fun.
like a Foley machine, at least when you're talking about like
Yeah, yeah,
the
a little bit.
curve and
Like,
the
yeah,
marble. Sorry, I'm looking up because I forgot the term Foley, but yeah, like breaking celery
yeah.
for footsteps and things like that.
As I was doing it, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
I want one of these for myself. This is fun.
Isn't it easier to 3D print and tin snip things twice at a time? You should have done that.
Yeah, there were a number of times where I was like, did this, I did this wrong. I need to do it again, and so
Fair
yeah,
enough.
it was,
That's what this podcast needs is more like Foley, like
yeah, yeah,
those little like radio announcer sound
right,
bars.
right.
Woo!
Pew.
Uh, so listen, in the news that I read, I will talk briefly about Fable, if that's all right. I've
Mm,
not much to say, but I can tell you in the I was in New York for Dash on
mm-hmm,
one of the days. Unfortunately, I had to go entertain clients at a speaker dinner, and I will admit I had three proseccos before trying Fable for the first time. I will
mm-hmm,
tell you why this is important in a moment, but what I did was I fired up Cowork because I had my laptop with me, but I didn't want to do too much. So I spun up Cowork and I told it to use like a cloud session, which I like because you can resume them from your
mm-hmm,
phone, et cetera, et cetera. And I started running through it kind of before we went out. And listen, I wasn't sloshed or anything like that, but I definitely had some alcohol in me. I started going through Cowork and asking it to do things, and I'm pretty sure Fable thought I was trying to make some sort of AI agent,
mm-hmm.
which, to be fair, I mean, I kind of have been. But I think all of us know that it got nerfed, I guess, when you were doing things like that.
Yeah.
They kept telling me that it was Fable, the model, and I guess in my brain, I thought I was smart enough to get around it and get some useful output out of it. It like in a 5-hour session, I got absolutely nothing out of it. It was terrible and extremely
Mm-hmm.
frustrating. And eventually I just went to sleep. I mentioned the wine because I think any rational human would have stopped this session and started a new one. But
Yeah.
that is not what I did. And unfortunately the experience was bad for me. But like honestly, in terms of security, when I'm reading things about this, was it Pliny the Liberator?
Uh-huh.
Like this is this sophisticated attack to
Yeah.
even get it to do normal work. Actually,
Yeah.
it seemed like you had to be quite sophisticated to get it in like normal cowork to do work. I will say in code, I think the next day or the day after I had a session with it, it was only around for like 3 days, 2 days, 3 days, something
Yeah.
like that. I had to pick up some old tasks that 4.7, maybe 4.6, 4.7, 4.8 had done, and it found some bugs in these tests that I knew about, some build problems, but they were a little bit more gnarly, like literally BSD ISO image building
Mm.
bugs, and some of them had to do with the platform. I was playing around with Risk V or Risk 5, and it just made that there's some weirdness in there. But I
Mm.
got one PR out of it, which was phenomenal. It was incredible. It fixed like 5 things at once. It wasn't very
Mm.
long. It was succinct. It worked perfectly. and then I was kicked out pretty much as soon as I had like I think it had dropped the PR and then kicked me out. Maybe we just had continued and it already happened. I was able to merge the PR using 4.8, and that's about all I got out of it.
Right.
I'm so sorry to say I wanted to say that Fable was great, and it was for one session, but my session in Cowork was not great, and I feel like honestly, if I just started a new one, it would have been fine. So it's not a real and
Yeah.
not a real testament of it being good or bad,
Yeah.
basically. I don't know. Did you have any chance to kick
I
the
did
tires
not.
before it
I
gets
did not
going?
look at it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so quick, and it feels like a lot of this is like I'm trying to be charitable, but security theater, like is it that bad? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But also, like, really, is it that because the
Yeah.
codex is over here pretty, codex 5.5, I think it's
Right.
cyber that they appended, which is a little bit cringy, but here we are. Seems to be roughly the same in terms of capability, on top of
Right.
which it looks like GLM 5.2
Yeah.
in terms of coding ability is roughly the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, look at Anthropic's in the news. They filed for their S1.
Hmm.
It's great. I think safety
Hmm.
is also important. But yes, as a Canadian, I would like access to the American model again, please.
As American, I'd like to have access to the American model. I mean,
Fair,
yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. I'm just hoping that there's no like RSA export restrictions or something. I don't want to have to write a test just to use your
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
Have you tried GLM
I
5.2? I did
have.
notice it was on Olama Cloud. Okay.
It is, and it's been great.
It,
It seems
it's
to
like
perform well and fast, and I didn't do a whole lot with it, but started playing around with it, and definitely saw a few people saying that Olama was having trouble, but I'd never experienced any problems with it, and it's
yeah, I'm
just
sure that depends on
great.
like timing and region too, right? Like if
Yeah,
you're running a service like that.
I mean, there's um, so many people on the Olama Discord that talk for the last few months. They'll say, "Oh,
Mhm.
well, it's performing really badly," and I never see any performance problems. And I gotta wonder, are they? It would be wonderful to see, like, for all those people that have problems, are they
Right.
all within a specific region? Is there one
Right.
particular, access point that they're all going through that to get onto the main internet? What what's going on?
Are they distillating? Are they running
Yeah,
scheduled
yeah,
task in Hermes or
yeah.
Animez? Yeah.
What is different? Because I am
Sorry, I'm
not
just trying to
experiencing
trigger
those
you with the,
issues.
the bad pronunciation of
The correct
Hermes.
pronunciation of Hermes, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I've only had the problem once, but I was also doing something incredibly dumb, and I think I've talked about it before. I've
Hmm.
been playing around with agent swarms, and I let them gossip with each other.
Mm,
It quickly gets out of hand, like 10 to the 10
hmm.
conversations gets out of hand really quickly,
Yeah,
and they, yeah, I mean, in their defense on Alama API or Cloud API, they seem to give you like a progressive like back off. It's almost like a crash loop back off kind of thing. So
hmm,
you get kind of timed out for about 5 minutes, and then once you get back in, you can do whatever you want.
hmm,
Again, it's not like you're stuck out for 2 days
hmm.
or like 4 hours on Anthropic.
Right, right.
Again, not trying to pick a favorite in this battle, but I will say it's extremely frustrating mid-session,
Yeah,
especially when you're coding or debugging or testing something that you've already written, and it feels like you're almost there. Basically, it's like that
yeah,
one more turn, and they cut you off for like a whole day or like until the end of the month or something like that for a
yeah.
whole week. It's awful, and I know it makes you want the service more,
Right.
granted. On the other hand, it makes me not like the service as well.
Hmm.
And as soon as I start switching gears to another service like ChatGPT or Olama Cloud,
Hmm.
it feels to me like it's less and less special to have one
Right,
provider that can do something more interesting to look at something like VLLM or I
right.
think OpenRouter's got Fusion where it's got like a dynamic backend. It's acting as like
Mm,
an API router for you. But that to me is more interesting than a provider that frankly, doesn't have great uptime.
right, right.
Let alone the most frequent. I don't want to say rug pull, but it kind of feels like rug pull of giving
Yeah,
you a model and then pulling it away as well. Yeah, that's my rant about Fable. Sorry,
yeah.
I
No,
obviously want to use more of it
right.
and can't. So here we are. But I've literally been playing a lot of Ball Pit. I think I recommended that the last time we've
Ball pit.
talked. I've almost beaten the entire game. It's like Arkanoid, I think would be the name of the older
I
Alleyway,
feel
I
like
guess was the Nintendo.
we talked about this, but I forgot what it was.
Yes, I believe I did. And it's really not that complicated of a game. It's essentially just a little paddle on the bottom, bouncing balls up into the screen. It's really, really simple. And then they just
Yeah,
build and build and build on it. And it was created by mostly one person as well, which I find
yeah.
interesting. But it was pretty fun.
Hmm,
And have played that pretty much the entire time since I've
hmm,
gotten
hmm.
back. I will also say that I'm on vacation next week and the week after, and I think
Mhm.
you are as well. And I picked up a meaty game to play on the Switch 2, but I've been putting my time in on the Switch 2 this year, funnily enough.
So I sorry, I ball
It's
pit,
Ball X, yeah, it's Ball X Pit, I think, if you wanted
X pit,
to get the Ball X Pit.
ball X pit.
Hmm.
A brick breaking. What? Oh,
Yeah, I think
oh,
remember that old genre of like just
oh.
bouncing balls on the screen? It's like Pong, but
Yeah.
it's single player, and there's bricks in the foreground. Sorry, background. You're in the foreground.
Wow.
And it's surprisingly addictive, and it
Yeah.
feels like it scratches that same, I guess, one more turn itch is what I was trying to get at. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, now I'll beat it with the next character, or I'll try a new ability,
Yeah.
or I'll do something else. And I guess maybe I'm done with that magic on the Claude side. Is how the burnout feels. It's like this thing that used to give me so much joy just does not any longer.
Yeah.
It's like I'd much rather use like a workflow system or an agentic loop.
I looking at this game. I mean, it's a. The, every now and then I get sucked in by a game, but I do not let it go for a long time. And I
Right.
mean, Death Stranding had me for a little bit, but then
Nice.
um, yeah, then I stopped. Um, and for a while there was this one that was like a tower defense one,
Mhm.
and I was playing around with that on the phone, and
Nice.
that's all I did for a while, and then I stopped. And yeah, I don't spend a lot of time playing games.
Yeah, same here. I like to tell people that I'm a big fan of video game. Like I play video game. I don't play like a
I
lot of games.
Yeah,
I'm good at purchasing games,
yeah,
admittedly, especially during Steam sales. But I generally will like try a lot of games for like
yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, kind of snacking, and then I'll want to find that game I think where I can like snack on the regular. So it's
Hmm.
like a lifestyle game, and then I'll just get tired of it. So for
Yeah,
me, for the longest time, it's been like Street Fighter. I'll hop online, do a quick 5 minute match, maybe
right.
15 if I'm doing like a whole set, and that's it. And I'm kind of satisfied.
Yeah,
I'll be done for a while. Or if I'm really grinding on something, it'll be my reward. You know, when you're doing the
right.
tomato timer thing, that'll be the 5 minute reward. But a lot of the games I play, I think the last one I talked about was Loop Hero.
Hmm.
They're very much like really quick games. I
Hmm.
think Candy Crush used to be like that, or puzzle
Mm.
games in general used to be like that for me. But then I get good at them, and your sessions last
Right.
longer and longer and longer, which is not what I like. But I love the ones where you can get in and get out.
Yeah.
It's like a quick 5 minutes. And Ball Pit, you can finish an entire run, I think, in about 15 minutes. And if you're
Mm.
good, you can do it in about six, basically.
Mm.
So it's a quick get in, break a bunch of bricks, I guess is
Right.
what they say, and get out and you're done. You can turn the switch off and move on.
Occasionally, every like 3 or 4 weeks, Stella will say, "Well, can we play a video game?" And she'll want to
Oh,
play
interesting.
something. She doesn't enjoy. And we'll like go to Xbox whatever, and look at the family games and find.
Mhm.
And there was one that was like but many of them are like too much story, and it's like
Right.
she's just not. First off, she a lot of it requires a lot of reading, and her reading
Right.
is getting better, but still not fast. And so there was one where it was you're like rolling this chicken egg around, which was pretty cool. Um,
Interesting.
and you're this egg, so there's this oval that you roll it that
Yeah.
you are able to roll the egg itself. You're not like pushing it, but you are the
Nice.
egg and being rolled. And you're trying to go up this around this chicken coop. Um, and then there's been a few others, but they all require these long story. There's a bunch of Disney
Exposition.
ones, and
Yeah.
you're like
Yeah, yeah.
learning this. It's like no, just get to the game.
Just let me play. Yeah.
The one that's been pretty good, surprisingly good. I saw the title. Like, oh, please don't. Let's not play this. But we started doing it, and it was ended up being pretty cool. And it's like this Barbie horse ranch thing where you're riding a horse
Interesting.
around a kind of big world. And that
Okay.
is actually she's kind of enjoyed that one. But
That sounds like Uma Musume, which is like, have I told you about that game?
no.
It's a DNA game. It's quite the hit in Japan, but my understanding is that they're horse girls. So it's everything you're talking about, but combine Barbie and the horse. Unfortunately, I know that sounds terrible, but imagine they've got tails and they
Hmm.
race and et cetera, et
Huh.
cetera. It's kind of like a lifestyle sim, but with also racing horses
Yeah.
because I guess why not? So yeah, you ride your horse everywhere, but you are
Right.
the horse.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think
So
those life sims are like those lifestyle games are very
right.
popular.
Um. Yeah. I can't. I haven't had. Oh, it's Amazon Prime Day or days. Are
Yes.
you buying anything?
Yes. So listen, I've been looking at
Uh-oh.
those batteries. I still, I'm
Not
still looking for batteries. They're on sale, like Jackery or
okay. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since I don't have an electric car that I can use as like a portable power supply,
Mm-hmm.
I'm still looking at. Oh shoot, I've forgotten the name again of the one I got last time, where I got like the external battery by mistake and did not get the unit.
Yeah.
Which listen, yeah, yeah. So what was it? Sorry. Oh, it was on sale. I can't recommend this because
Mhm.
it's really expensive, but holy moly, it's highly rated. I have not bought it. Oh shoot. Well, I think the one that I could probably recommend that's on Prime Day is the Ugreen, or sorry, the Anchor laptop
Mhm.
power bank. Have you
Hmm.
seen that one? The
No.
kind of square long one? I have not seen it, but I believe this is one of those things that someone on the team has and is quite
Hmm.
fond of. But it's like 165 watts. I think it's ridiculous. Like the output of it
Hmm.
is yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for travel. I've had issues with anything over like 10,000 mAh, and this is 25.
Hmm.
Sorry, 2,500,000 mAh. So
Right.
like, watch out for these sizes. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like $113 now from 170 Canadian, so it's probably 80 USD, which is nice.
Yeah. I had a battery. Um. I must have gotten this 10 years ago or longer from a company called like Hypercool or Hyper something. And it was a big battery. And but on my 17-inch MacBook Pro, I would be able to it would had enough power in the battery to charge it, I think twice. Um
Wow.
and it had a cable from the battery to the mag. They like figured out the MagSafe, and I think they got
Wow.
sued over it, and that's why they went out of business. But it had a MagSafe adapter, and that was great. That was amazing. I would take that on the plane, and because I was often doing
Wow.
14-hour flights. And so that was fantastic. I'd have power because at the time they didn't have power in the seats, or sometimes I would have power in the seats if I got upgraded to first, but often I had to not have that. And yeah, that was
Was it
amazing.
Hyperdrive or Hyperjuice? Does that ring a
Hyper
bell?
Juice could have been it. Yeah.
Maybe? Okay. Wow, these are sorry, I'd never heard of this hyper shop is what I'm looking at. I have no
Hmm.
idea if this is it, but they do have MagSafe adapters, which I've
Hmm.
not seen before. I think it's no longer like a pigtail, so like it's no longer built into it, and it's just like they say you can bring your own MagSafe
Oh, okay.
cable, is what they're saying. Which it's oddly specific, so it seems similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's 240 watts, which I didn't even sorry, 245 watts, which I
Yeah.
didn't even know existed, which
Yeah.
is ridiculous. So that seems to check out.
Hmm.
It is USD, it's 200, so it's
Hmm.
more than the Anker one, but also more in cost. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's incredible. I'd not heard of these. I think they're GAN. Is it
Oh
gallium?
yeah, gallium.
Gallium nitride? Gallium
Yeah,
nitrate? It's ridiculous. Yeah, I think it's gallium nitride. GAN. Yeah,
yeah,
these GAN batteries are ridiculous. They're really like lightweight, but also
right.
extremely powerful. That's
Yeah,
wow,
but then
amazing.
again, I I um I got one of the 10,000 milliamp hour
Hmm.
batteries from there's a brand that they mostly do flashlights. God, I can't remember what it's called.
Energizer?
Nightcore.
Yeah. Sorry, I said
Um,
Energizer.
Nightcore
Nailed it. Nailed it.
batteries, and
Known for batteries.
people were saying, "Oh, well, this is the thinnest you could get." You know, for a while that was like the thinnest, and I got it. It's like it is exactly the same size as the Anker batteries I was buying that were ten
I, I
thousand
was
milliamp hour. That
I was about to say the same thing. It looks exactly the same size as the
it
Anchor. Yeah.
exact same size that I bought
The
7 years
Carbo.
ago. Nothing is no improvement. Um, and maybe the most recent. I mean, that was the one last year.
But Matt,
Um,
did you see the carbon fiber?
yeah, I mean that's the benefit. It weighs the
I
same.
I yeah, I can't see
Yeah,
any need for carbon fiber on my battery.
no,
It does look exactly the same as it's probably the same
yeah,
cells because you can
yeah,
only get the cells
yeah.
from yeah. It does look a little bit smaller. That's cool. This site though, this Nightcore site is very how do I say it? Police branded. The fact that when you land on the site, it's got like animated SWAT team with
Hmm.
flashlights and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
Their
But yeah,
flashlights
I
are pretty
think
cool.
they do look awesome, and the battery, the Carbo 20, which
Hmm.
is definitely not carbohydrates, I guess, does look pretty cool. I had not heard of this. It's got octagons as we know, or sorry, hexagons as we know.
Hmm.
Those are the bestagons.
Hot shape.
Yep, yep, very much the shape we want. It's only it's 13,500, I think, is what this one is, but it seems to be
Mm.
like their top seller. The
Hmm.
Carbo 20.
Mm.
Interesting. Aside from that, I've been looking for lenses for
Hmm.
cameras. Unfortunately, on Prime Day, there's not a lot going on for deals, but I'm
Mm.
very interested in trying the Viltrox lenses. Have you heard of these?
Hmm.
Like 120, 130 Canadian dollars. So again, maybe like 100 US dollars
Hmm.
for a pretty fast autofocus
Yeah.
lens. And I'm not sure if they're being sued. Like I think there was some rumors
Uh-huh.
about them being sued.
Uh-huh.
Maybe not on the Sony side, but possibly some other. I won't
Mm.
mention the manufacturers, but there are more litigious companies, I guess, out there. Um, but
Hmm.
they're autofocus. They're very cheap, and for a lens, like I generally like to put stuff on filters in front of lenses. Like I like to
Hmm.
like dirty up the frame and like add some
Hmm.
some stuff. And I'm worried about dropping cameras, breaking lenses, especially if it's like a Sigma Art lens that's
Right.
worth
Right.
$3,000, what have you. So to me, as like a walk around lens, the
Right.
Viltrox is very interesting, as well as Viltrox has some. I want to say DC55. They've got 5-inch monitors for like cameras, basically. So
Hmm.
like not a Ninja, but just the monitor itself
Right.
with built-in LUT support. And that's increasingly interesting to me as I take more video on like the A7R 5.
Right. Mm.
I do have a checkout coming up. I'm not sure if I should spoil it, but I did get a new camera, hence
Oh.
looking for lenses. So I pre-ordered the A7R6 and it finally came in. As I was at Dash, I wanted to bring it to
Oh.
Dash. It came in the Friday and somehow got stuck in customs because of course. And then while I was at Dash on the Monday, basically it came in here,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But it is phenomenal. It's a great
Yeah.
camera. It is so amazing. The JPEGs look
Right.
fantastic, and then you plug it into Lightroom and it looks awful. I think would be the
Oh.
word. Problem one: if you set your video frame to 16 by 9, it affects the JPEG output in Lightroom, but
Hmm.
doesn't seem to affect the JPEG output in camera.
Hmm.
Which means I've been scrambling around trying to figure out the resolution or the like aspect ratio, which it's supposed to be,
Right.
which I think is 4:5 or 4:6, but
Hmm.
it's basically a little bit. It's like 2:3, I think is what I was looking for. Um, that has been super fun. The colors are completely incorrect in
Yeah.
Lightroom. It doesn't understand any of the color profiles. Yeah, what else am I missing? I think aspect ratio is the thing that's bothering the most, and then not having color profiles is another pain. And if you shoot in black and white and then import into Lightroom, it
Hmm.
converts everything to color because I mean, that's obviously a feature I need. The other thing Lightroom did just to be fun is release an update that said it gave a preliminary support for the A7R6, which seemed to have made things worse,
Mm.
and it meant like upgrading my whole catalog, which of course took like half an hour, but.
Hmm.
Uh, you've probably not used Lightroom in years, but I just want to like throw one thing out there is that the catalog at this point now looks like, sorry, I'm looking at to remember again. Lightroom catalog V2 hyphen V2.5 hyphen 11 hyphen 12 hyphen 13 hyphen 13.5 hyphen 14 hyphen 15 hyphen 16. And I think the most recent update added 17 to the end. So the file name is like super duper
Oh my
long.
god.
It's like dot final
Right. Yeah.
v3,
Yeah. Yeah.
dot lr, whatever the
Mm.
catalog is, like lr catalog. Yeah, I think what not to
Mm.
do when versioning a file.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make a
Wow.
copy of it. I had made a backup, so it was fine, but it
Yeah.
just keeps it pending. That's my
Uh,
my whole story about Lightroom.
I I've been watching videos about a camera, and
Oh,
but I'm not doing it. But
good
I keep
job.
watching
Good
it.
job.
I keep watching videos about an M11, but I'm not gonna do it.
Now, so at Dash, as we've established, I went to a speaker dinner, and I got to speak to a lot of people from all over the place. One of them happened to work for a French shoe company. In fact, there are two speakers,
Hmm.
both from sorry, not a French outdoor company, a
Hmm.
rather large one, whose name I'll remember in a moment.
Hmm.
And we were just chatting, and Jason Yee, a friend,
Hmm.
I think you know as well,
Yep.
one of Datadog employees, said, "Hey Ryan, you should come over here. I think this person's got a camera you might like." And I mean, listen, the camera was okay. I think it was a M11 monochrome, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah.
The lens on the monochrome was a 50 millimeter Summicron aspherical, which is a
Hmm.
fairly expensive
Yeah.
lens. It was phenomenal. I got
Yeah.
to hold it, got to take some photos and such. It was astounding. It kind of was not like the icing on the cake of the trip, but like it feels really nice. I like that you're watching videos about the M11
Yeah.
and M10 as I have looked at, because once you pick one up, it's hard to put down. They've
Yeah.
got a little way of focusing. One, there's like a little notch for the finger,
Yep.
and two, the way the parallax works in the viewfinder makes it very easy to focus very quickly
Yeah.
manually, which means that you can. It's almost like you're faster than autofocus a lot of the
Yeah.
time, which it seems weird, but if you know what you're focusing for,
Hmm.
it's faster. It's hard to put down. Would suggest watching videos, not trying
Yeah.
one out in person.
Yeah.
That's where I would leave that.
I'm kind of tempted to like rent one, but even renting
Ah,
is expensive. But then,
yes, yes.
but then, I was
You can get cheap lenses. Like the camera is bad,
sure.
but the lenses
Yeah.
don't need to be bad.
Um, but then I just saw, well, how much is it to rent, any camera? And any camera is expensive to rent for a week.
Really? Okay.
It was like, well, I mean, to rent I don't know, I saw a number of current Lumix cameras that were like
Mhm.
350 or 360 to rent for a week,
Right.
and the M11 was like 450.
Oh, I mean,
It was like,
okay.
oh well, that's not a big difference.
Yeah.
Um, and then the lenses were like 150 a week. Uh,
That seems like a lot for a lens. I think you could buy a Voigtlander and
that
rent
was
it out to
for
other people.
a 28 Summicron. So yeah,
And Matt, no offense,
they're all
you
like
and I
three or
would
four
probably not
thousand.
be able to tell the difference between those two lenses.
No, I know, I know.
I'm not sure we could if we were both shooting like architecture or something like that, but it's the lenses, the Voigtlander lenses, I think do have maybe resolution problems because you're looking at almost 60 megapixels at that point. So like there's a character, I guess, the
Yeah,
Voigtlander lenses, and I think some of the my understanding is some of the Leica lenses are also underperforming on that sensor, but have a character, if that makes sense. So something
Hmm.
that people want from the lenses,
Yeah.
whereas some of these Zeiss lenses might be too precise. So I
Yeah.
think that's the hierarchy in terms of the amount. It's like Voigtlander, Zeiss, Leica,
Yeah.
but the Leicas might be you might be paying for character,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
I
I don't
I,
know.
I think
I
it's I'm I've got a Voigtlander I can rent to you. How much did you say? 150 a week? 150 Canadian a week. How's that?
Yes, yes.
It says
Uh,
I think that's a
I
33% discount. Yeah.
I yeah. Anyway,
It's
so I
the way I'd sell this to you as a former photography salesperson. Just you can rate me on how insidious this is. It's like, I mean, you could take photos of your daughter on a 12 megapixel camera from Panasonic, and they'd be fine for a couple years. Or yeah, I mean, you could also shoot them on 60 megapixel,
right,
and they might be okay for like 20 years.
right.
This is how I get people, is like just telling them that the lenses were better and then the photos would last longer if they were in focus or whatever. You don't sell people on like the feature set or
Right.
anything like that. It's like how smug would you feel, Matt, with like a Leica around your neck?
So when I worked at a camera shop in
Mhm.
from the time I was 16 years old till graduating college,
I keep forgetting you're also a photo salesperson. We should be careful here.
yeah,
Yeah.
I the guy who owned the store had in a window had a collection of Leica equipment, um, all the way from like early days M series cameras,
Oh,
and had a M. I don't know what the newest one was. So it would have been probably 95. So whatever the newest
like an
one
M3.
was at that point.
Yeah, maybe
Um,
M4. Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, I would love to at some point." So he said, "No, no, you don't. Go ahead,
Hmm.
borrow any one of these, borrow it for
Oh,
a few weeks, and see what you think. And you
right,
won't want one."
right.
And I did,
Loading
and
the
it's like,
film was the
okay, I
hardest
did,
part, right? Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, yeah. Loading the film was the hardest part on those old ones because you
Yeah,
had to turn
yeah,
them upside down and like take that
yeah,
plate off. Yeah.
right. And it was right. I did not want to buy one after that.
No
Um,
way. No
so
way.
he convinced me not to get it.
Huh. I
Um,
think for
and we
me,
sold a
there's
lot of
there's a
Leicas.
oh, of course, of course. There's a
Yeah.
few lenses for me that I think would get me to do something like that, and they're basically like I think they're called planar or planar from Zeiss or APO
Mm,
Lanthars from Voigtlander, but the 90 millimeter macros that you
hmm.
can shoot really quick and focus really quick on a camera like that, to me was the eye opener. It was less so the 28 or the 35 or the 50, but
Right.
the telephoto macro lens for me was it's just there's just aren't lenses like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Even on the Voigtlander side, it's
Yeah.
just like you'd have to adapt it basically to another camera. The Sonys are too precise. I think the
Hmm.
Nikons are as well, like their micro series and the macro series from Sony. But that is swirly bouquet or something. There's something that Leica lenses and lenses
Yeah.
made for Leica. They're small for one thing. They're
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
tiny lenses,
Tiny lenses.
which is amazing. So you end up with this amazing quality camera that fits in a lot smaller area
Yeah.
than others. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to
Yeah. I
convince
mean,
you not to
you'd have
spend like
a
10K on a
small
camera, but it's
collection
hard.
for and have like $30,000 worth of equipment in this small little box.
Easy. So
Yeah.
not to out the person who showed me the camera and lens, but yeah, easily would have been $30,000 just for the camera and lens combo that he
Yeah.
had. And I think that's an American. I think in
Hmm.
Canadian that would be a lot more. I
Yeah.
will say I've been to the Leica store in Tokyo and did
Hmm.
not touch anything. It was very tempting.
Hmm.
I went straight to the Sony and then to the Pentax 4 and then kind of got out of there
Yeah.
because my issue is not it's not the M series. It's the same camera that again, sorry, I'm just spreading all the hot gossip here. But Jason, you did in fact buy I like a Q series. I think
Hmm.
you got a Q2 or a Q3.
Hmm.
And that's what I've been looking for. Is like
Yeah.
one of the ones with the fixed lens on it
Yep.
already. It's kind of good to go. I just pick it up and shoot and put it back, but
Yep.
it's purpose built. Feels like a hammer that's ready to go
Yep.
on vacation with you. And then if I have it around my neck, I don't feel something about those black cameras, the white lenses, the
Hmm.
sporty kind of on vacation camera. The Leica to me feels a little bit more elevated than that. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because the Leica or what have you. But the Q series is what I've been trying not to spend money on, and I have not picked up or ever tried. But those
Hmm.
ones, yeah, it's I think this is what gets us.
Yeah.
Older photographers
Yeah.
get drawn more and more to Leica.
Yeah. Oh.
I assumed you were getting a video camera. I don't know. No, also,
No, no, I'm not tempted by anything else at the moment. I'm
all right.
uh
Like, who's gonna take photos of your new car? You need a Leica for that. Can
yeah,
the car charge the Leica? Yeah, could you like
yeah,
Velcro the
yeah,
Leica to the side of
sure.
it? And I think the M11 will take video. I
It
believe, or did they
will.
remove that? The M10 did. Maybe they removed it
M11
from the
does.
other one.
I mean,
Okay.
you're not gonna take it, but you're not gonna buy it for video. But
No, they removed it. The M11 got video features removed,
oh,
which is what I thought. The M10 does, the M11 does not, which I thought was pretty funny
hmm.
because the Leica people complained about an extra button on the
Oh,
camera and it not being good. Like, don't put the button there if the video is
right,
unusable. But
right.
I would have tried it.
Hmm. Oh, I had seen something that listed it was there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I wasn't
okay.
sure.
Huh.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And there's one without a back, right? Like the
Yeah,
M11.
M11D has no
Oh,
back.
D doesn't have a back. Okay.
There's a monochrome. There's a P that has the water, not a watermark, but something in the file to say that this was actually a photo.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha. It's like a C. I'm forgetting the name of that company, but yeah, they added like that digital
yeah.
watermark. Yeah.
And then
That's really
there's the
cool.
M11 regular, and they're the same. I think
They're
those
all the
two
same
are the
price, right?
same cost. They're all $10,000 or $11,000 for the body alone.
Wow. What I'd normally say about a film camera is that it would outlive you. I'm not sure if that applies to digital, but it
Yeah,
seems like their cameras have been lasting,
yeah,
which is nice. I mean, the
yeah.
lenses definitely will
Oh
outlive
yeah,
it. The
yeah,
camera, the body is a whole other thing.
yeah,
A
yeah. I
friend of
mean,
mine has an M6, and that's what I
yeah,
get spoiled on, was the
yeah.
M6.
I mean, it's like the Nikon lenses. I mean, every Nikon lens I had, I sold for 20, 30, 40% higher than I bought it for.
Hmm.
20 years later.
I have purchased the same Nikkor lens, I think 3 times at this point. So it's the 50 AFS 1.4 G, I guess.
Hmm.
It's just like a standard lens. You
Yeah.
can find it pretty much anywhere, but it's really good for what it is. And the most recent one, I went in to grab. I think they were having a sale on London Drugs is the name of the store. It's like an electronics store because
Mhm.
obviously London Drugs is Canadian and sells electronics. Totally makes sense. So I went to the store and I saw that they had the lens on sale on the box version, but not the demo. Like, they had it backwards. Like, the box version was on
Mm.
sale, but the demo was not somehow. And I
Mm.
asked them if it was correct, and they did a check, and they're like, "Yeah, the box one is the demo
Mm.
version's cost." So I picked it up for $150, I
Mhm.
think, and put it on my Nikon F6 because I've
Yeah.
still got a film camera that I do use once in a while, and it was perfect.
Wow.
And it feels like, was it like middle C? It's like 50 millimeter f1.4 from Nikon has been amazing in the 1980s and the
Yeah.
1990s. It's going to be the same quality 50
Yeah.
millimeter lens, and they changed the AF recipe over time, but the lens itself is
Yeah.
stunning. Anyways, just got that same character in it,
Right.
and I think this is the third copy I've got.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter gave me one for free randomly one time back in the day. Who used to work at Elasticsearch of all
Uh-huh.
things, just sort of random. But yeah,
Wow.
I figured I'd try to pay it forward, and I think I gave that one to my sister, bought another one, and gave that
Okay.
to somebody, and now I'm
Yeah.
buying my third.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. Listen, there's 15 minutes left, and we've been talking about our checkouts.
Yeah.
I will say, last week we missed an episode because you were doing what now that was really wholesome?
I
It sounded like a glowing recommendation.
I was well, I guess so. So
Yeah.
with my daughter, we tend to watch usually on a Friday when my mother and her boyfriend come over to have dinner. We will
Mhm.
watch a program on TV, and we'll usually watch 2 episodes of whatever it is. Um, and for a while it was Anne with an E, which is
Okay.
a great series. And then we went to Little House on the Prairie, which is a great
Nice.
series until you get to the later seasons, and then a lot of them are really, really
Like social message ones. Yeah.
tough ones. I mean, there's a lot of suicide. There's a lot of murder. There's a lot of beating. There, just a pretty violent series, which
Mhm.
I don't remember, but is the case. And so we'd have to like, okay, we can watch episode 1, and then we have to jump to like episode 6 because that's the next one that's not questionable. But we finished off all of Little House with I think about 2 days to spare before they went off of Amazon Prime,
Nice.
um, and then we switched to um, All Creatures Great and Small, and so
Oh,
we're
right on.
about season 4 now, um, and that's just a and Stella will say, "Well, can we watch it midday?" And especially, she's been out of school for 2 weeks, I think,
Mhm.
um, and and so yeah, last Tuesday, I got back from the gym, and she said, "Can we watch Little House?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." Or sorry, not Little, All Creatures.
Yeah, all
And
creatures.
so we were sitting down and watching that, and then I
Oh.
looked at my watch and it was like 2:30, and I'm like, "Oh, crap. Oh."
Yeah, I was on my
Um,
way to the beach. It's
yeah.
summertime in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I will say I gave you about 20 minutes, and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I figure I just
Yeah.
start walking."
Yeah.
But that's awesome. I think that's looking at the series, so it's British, right?
Yeah.
As far as I can tell from 2020,
So
so, like Mhm.
yeah, it's the new remake of All Creatures Great and Small.
Oh,
There was an
gotcha.
older version. Um, and then there's
That's based on some
also
book?
there's
Yeah?
a series of books written by I can't remember the author's name. James Herriot is the main character, but James Herriot is not the author's name. It's but James is either his first name or middle name. Um,
James Herriot, it looks like, yeah.
but that's
The
not
book.
his actual name.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Uh,
James Alfred Wright, it looks like. Or
yes,
White, sorry, not Wright,
White, yeah.
White. Yeah, I'm working on
Um,
my, reading comprehension, sorry.
yeah. And it was just a lovely series. Um,
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's
well,
very highly rated.
yeah. And it was the reason why we got PBS streaming, which
Oh,
you
from
get for
Masterpiece
like,
Theater?
yeah.
Mhm.
I actually no, it wasn't the reason we got it. The reason we originally got it was for the newer version of Count of Monte Cristo,
Right, which I think
which
you
is
had recommended
spectacular.
previously.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that one similarly, I think on Rotten Tomatoes was over 90%. This one
yeah.
is 99% on Rotten
Wow.
Tomatoes, which is
Yeah,
like I'm not gonna say it's the highest I've seen, but it feels like it's like tied for the
yeah,
highest. That's ridiculous, especially for something that's been out for a
yeah,
minute. Like if it's just released, you probably can't trust the ratings. But
yeah,
yeah, this has been out since 2020.
yeah.
Fantastic, and it's still ongoing, or is
I
it
think
not
there
anymore?
were 6 or 7 seasons.
Okay, okay. Oh no, it says it will return for
Oh, okay,
seasons 7 and 8.
okay,
All right,
yeah.
wow. This is straight
We're
from PBS.org.
we're in the middle. So James has just returned from World War II fighting. Or I missed those episodes because they were watching it without me. So I've I
Oh,
need to catch up.
unbelievable.
I need to catch up. Um,
They also note that one of the people here, Samuel West, is from Mr. Selfridge. Did you watch that? My
I
no?
tried a few times, but I didn't get into it.
And I've also watched Downton Abbey. Have you, or
I
at least
hate
I've seen
that.
the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I hated that.
Um, uh, not to my taste. Well, it wasn't for me. I feel like it's for
Yeah,
a different audience.
yeah.
It feel very hoity-toity. Maybe it's the
Hmm.
word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Just a little, yeah, upper crust kind of.
yeah,
Maybe not
yeah,
something I'm used to. No low frame of reference for
yeah.
me, unfortunately. I grew up too country.
I'm trying to think of what other things like for taking advantage of Prime. Oh, one thing that I just got this ordered this morning was a charger for our car.
Ooh, ooh.
Um, so being able to, right now just have the regular wall outlet thing, which gets you basically 2 miles an hour, so a slow trickle charge off a regular
Okay.
outlet.
Right, right,
So
right, 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 right. Like a
it's
plug-in
not,
hybrid kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
takes
it's
like a full
not.
night to
It
do
takes a
nothing.
long time,
Yeah.
but thankfully we don't go very far.
Right.
So that's good. Um,
It also means you can charge pretty much anywhere, right? Like if you're on
yeah.
a
Oh yeah.
like a trip or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though it's not a lot,
It's
it's
not a
still
lot,
kind
but
of anywhere.
you will be able to trickle overnight.
Hmm.
If you're staying with somebody, yeah. Probably not in a hotel because you're not gonna have an outlet nearby. Um,
Just run an extension cable like out the
yeah,
window.
yeah. Um, and yeah, so I got one of those. I don't know what else we got.
Oh, well, I can segue here. So I kind of want to ask a couple questions about your
Hmm.
car. So
Oh yeah.
I've been holding off purchasing a new vehicle because I'm a little bit hesitant of
Hmm.
electric cars. But I think if I were to go all in and be more of a futurist, as some of my
Hmm.
coworkers are, electric cars and things like that, I would want like an AI in my
Hmm.
car. So I've been doing a lot of research into and I apologize in advance, what AIoT would look like. I'm so sorry. I did not coin this term. Someone else did. Because I don't know where is it artificial internet of things or is it artificial
Sure.
intelligence of things? I'm pretty sure it's intelligence anyway. Moving on. As a result, I've been looking into SBCs, so single board computers,
Hmm.
or something similar to that that have higher tops. I'd love to tell you I
Mm.
know what tops means, but I think it's a measurement of kind of how much processing power you have that
Right.
you can give to an LLM. This is my understanding. And
Something
60
operations per
tops.
second.
Exactly. 60
Right.
tops or 100 or 120 is kind of
Right.
what I'm looking for. So I decided in my infinite wisdom, I would go on Alibaba looking for something that was sold out in North America.
Uh-huh.
I see you smiling. I'm glad you're smiling. I kind of set this up to make it obvious, but yes, I did in fact order. I tried to order two Milk 5 Jupiter 2s. This is going to sound kind of weird for a second. They run SpaceMint K3 RISC-V processors. They're 64-bit, they're quad core, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Most importantly, they're 60 tops. And maybe I should have known this is too good to be true. They also had 32 gigabytes of memory each, which
Hmm.
sounded amazing. So I bought two for I think it was $750, which is like
Hmm.
that's a screaming deal. Like that is even for Raspberry Pis, that would be a screaming
Right.
deal because I think the 16 gigabyte versions are roughly 500 Canadian. So they're
Hmm.
like 350 USD, like
Right.
very expensive for what you get.
Right.
Yes, it turned out they were double that cost, which is unfortunate. But what I was able to do, I was using a proxy. Luckily, I got a refund. I'm using Superbuy. This isn't sponsored, blah, 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 blah. But I was using a proxy to help purchase. Luckily, because they canceled the order when the other party said, like, it cost more, actually, and then kept it in escrow. So I was able to use it to buy basically one of those parts. So it's
Hmm.
on the way. And I'm saying all this because, like, I think that the stuff that I burnt out on was I'm really looking for harder and harder problems to solve with Gen AI. And when this arrives, which will probably be a month because it's AliExpress basically, what I'm gonna try to do is make a new operating system work on this. And it sounds way more complicated than it actually is. As far as I can tell, you can take Linux bootloaders and chain load other operating systems, which you absolutely should not do because like the license is terrible. But if you need to get like grub booting something else, that's essentially my strategy here is to use like the U-boot bootloader to see what I can do with some BSD because NetBSD is not ported yet, but it's pretty close. This is
So wait, what's the
this is
whole
what
goal of this?
to that's a very good question. I think how we started was could we put an AI agent in my automobile? I think is how we get
Hmm.
started down this path. And yeah, I don't know if Claude is helping me purchase things or helping
Hmm.
me code, but this was the recommendation at least from Claude about a month ago when they're in pre-sale, and now
Hmm.
they're released to the public. You can purchase them, but they're basically all this is to say is like if we had an ARM revolution, it feels like there's a risk revolution because Risk is open, so you can
Right.
make an open Risk processor if you want.
Right.
And SpaceMate is one, and it allows you to do not only 60 tops but 60 tops with DDR5, I believe,
Hmm.
up to 32 gigabytes of memory. So it's non-trivial. And,
Right.
and then maybe I'll close this all out with their use case, which really kind of made me hurt a bit. It's a photo of a robot with one of these in every joint, basically saying like, so if you were sending a signal from one
Right.
processing unit, the brain, that says like, hey, I need to move my elbow, the elbow would think about how to move before thinking.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's the wrong architecture, but it's a
Right.
great architecture if you're selling AI units, right? Like
Yeah.
obviously you need to have one for like
Yeah.
your finger, like your hands. Like
Right.
you need like 30, like each knuckle.
Right.
Like obviously, if you want to sell units, you would say put them in there. But it seems like a pretty good brain for something
Right.
like a robot vacuum cleaner or something like that.
Hmm.
This is where I'm at. And yeah, what is
Okay.
the goal? I think the goal honestly is to test LLMs using harder and harder problems. Risk 5 is definitely on the edge of things that would not be in the corpus. So in terms of actual quote unquote intelligence, it feels like a test. But I'm getting to the point now where like the more you try things, the more the
Right.
models seem to be training on what you're like. I don't know if I'm helping Anthropic train their models or
Yeah.
if they're actually like giving me a service at this point in time, but it does at least show you like where the edges
Yeah.
of inference are. I guess. Listen, I wish I knew more about like how to test
Right.
quote unquote intelligence, but at this point it's like things I know a little bit about, a tiny bit of porting, some operating system stuff that's a little bit more difficult, and then just throw on top of that some license complications for fun, because finding an open source bootloader without a binary bin blob that's like from some proprietary vendor is increasingly difficult these days. That's
Wow.
all I got for you.
Wow.
I wish that was more interesting, but like chips, I get that people could care less about chips. We did have two comments, and I did want
Oh,
to
I
call them
didn't
out before
even
we got it.
notice
So
comments.
Jay Topham, thank you for saying yes to Matt earlier. I think when we were talking about Bluey, and then Shiva Sharma said, "Hey Matt, it's been a minute."
Huh. Cool. Um. Yeah, loving the Rivian.
I can imagine,
It's
but it doesn't have a HAL or like what's the Iron Man one?
it does have a
No.
Rivian AI, and it's
Oh shoot, it
really
does. Oh,
it does
see, I haven't done my research.
it is very impressive. I mean, like,
Okay,
uh,
okay,
I can say, hey Rivian, what is when's the next ferry leave? And it
nice.
will
That's pretty good.
say the next ferry leaves from Bainbridge Island because it knows I'm on Bainbridge Island. Leaves from
Yeah,
Bainbridge
yeah, yeah.
Island in 20 minutes. If you leave now,
Oh.
you should be and there's 200
Even the
there's 200
yeah.
spots available on the ferry. You should be able to make it without what, and it says it like in a friendly way. It's it's pretty
Nice.
impressive that it
Yeah,
knows where I am when I'm asking,
right.
um, and
So does your
yeah,
car have a cell plan? Because I would assume GPS would be how I'd solve that problem.
yeah. So with when you buy, well, I mean, we're leasing. When we get a
Mhm.
Rivian, you have the cost of the car, but then you're
Right?
also paying $15 a month or 150 a year for Rivian Connect, which is the like
Gotcha.
basically a cell plan, which
Allows you to use
is
your heated seats and stuff like that. Sorry,
well,
I'm
no,
just
he
teasing.
that oh,
I think that's
that's fine,
BMW
but
who did that. Yeah.
and then there's also the $49 a month, or $2,500 to buy outright, for the Autonomy Plus, which at the
Oh,
moment is not a great deal, but
okay.
they're
Is
saying
about to.
they'll be releasing point to point by the end of this calendar year,
Ooh.
which means you can be in your driveway, plug in a point that you want to go to, uh, you know, 30 miles away, 40 miles away, and it will drive you there.
We'll take you there.
Um, so that's a pretty massive leap from where it is now, but they're saying they're very confident that they'll
I
And
feel like it's
then
your personal Uber. Please, please. There's a pun coming. I'm so sorry. If it's Matt's Uber, is it Moober? No. Okay, moving on. Moving on. I'm so sorry. That does
Well,
sound awesome though. It's like
one
that
of the
Batman kind of send the car to me and then hop in the car and go.
well, yeah, one of the interesting some interview I saw pretty recently was talking about how, is as these cars become more intelligent from all the different brands, are there going to be more cars on the road because more people want to get these cars,
Right.
or are there going to be less cars on the road?
More.
And the CEO Scaringe or something like that was basically saying, they expect, most families to go from a two-car household maybe down to a one-car household because they won't need
Oh.
as many cars at some point in the future. Not
Because you
the
got your family Uber. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
basically, my wife drives to her work, and when she arrives, the car drives itself back to me
Return.
because
Yeah,
I need it to go
recall.
somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
that's not happening this year. That's a few
Right.
years out, but because I'm sure it also requires uh, city and state laws to allow a car to drive on its own without anybody in the car.
I would at this point, I'd honestly settle for one of those, robotic horses. Do you remember the ones with, like, the two-stroke engines that just galloped at 2 feet? Like, make them, put them in the bike lane because like, the bike
Hmm.
lane's a mess already. Put them in there with the
Yeah.
scooters and the one wheels. Put the robot horses in there, and yeah, I'd recall it back to me. I'd be happy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So,
Wow. Yeah, I
and
feel like you're right, though. If you can have a feature where it comes back to you, then the whole the soccer mom problem of
right.
like, no, I got to pick up Jenny, and then I need to pick up from the recital, and then like it becomes this whole thing. It
Yeah.
solves for that problem.
But one thing I was looking at, sorry that we're starting to go over, but one thing
I think I'm okay. I've got time, by the way. Yep.
I was surprised at was that we've only seen an order of magnitude in amount of range
Mm,
in EVs since the first EVs were available, that had a range of 20 to 30 miles on a charge in the
right.
late 1800s. And, 130 years later, we've only gained one order of magnitude in how far an EV can go on
Right.
a charge, which is
Right.
interesting.
And we're talking about solid state batteries, which solve for some of that, but a lot of it is more safety than capacity. So
Yeah.
you're not necessarily like it
Yeah.
might be a little bit lighter, but it's more like safety.
I
And
wonder
you
how
saw
many
that
of
report,
those
right? The
I wonder how
fake
many of
ones,
those 1895 EV cars blew up.
right?
I don't know.
Right, or the ones that were, like, made on basically double A's.
Yeah.
Like, what? Really? Lithium-ion WAs, like,
Yeah.
Eneloops was the rumor, like, they just had stripped Eneloops and ganged them all together, but
Oh,
yeah,
really?
it's
No, I'm talking about
yeah,
1895, not
right,
1995.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and prior to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I
18.
was thinking 18950, I think is the this
Oh,
sorry, I
no,
was
no.
thinking battery tech, I'm so sorry. I'm so
So
sorry.
in
You're thinking
18
about horses and how much, you can
No,
feed them and
no.
how long they can go.
I mean, like the
Well,
first EVs, the
mm,
first taxi fleet in New York City was EV. They were electric vehicles in
oh.
the 1890s.
Gotcha.
Um,
I somehow did not
and
know this.
no, this is so the
This is one of
first
those
first fleet of like
random
20
facts.
vehicles for taxis. They were electric vehicles, and they were
Wow.
like a 20-30 mile range on a single charge.
Gotcha. Wow. We also had, still have, EVs in Vancouver that run on like
Oh yeah.
is it light rail? Is that the right term? But like a rail in the sky, basically. Sorry, I know there's like an actual term for this type of rail system, but
Uh-huh.
basically it's powered by the rail. I think SF had something similar, but like trolley cars, basically.
Oh
But
yeah,
we've got
yeah, yeah.
buses that run on a system like that that are
Yeah, in Seattle,
EVs and
they are electric buses within downtown area.
mm,
And then as soon as you get past there's a certain point, and then the
gotcha.
bus driver has to hop out, pull the thing down, and like tie it up,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
and then
they
start the
switch
engine?
over to
Yeah,
a
yeah.
gas engine, and
I feel
drive the
like the
rest of the
same
way.
thing happens here, but it's mostly when they pop off the track. They have to, like,
Mm,
boot it up or whatever.
yeah.
But, yeah, I've said before that the reason they're called cars is because it comes from a train car. We can
Yeah.
easily put the
Yeah.
cars, all in a row and have them
Uh-huh.
talk together and maybe share electricity and possibly link them. I don't maybe they can link and unlink, I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
was it bumper cars I think we came up with last time? Like, we'll give everyone a Wally vehicle model
Right,
car, and,
right.
they'll get their free Slurpee per
Oh,
day, they'll be good to go.
I see that Disneyland or
Mhm,
Disney World, I think it was Disneyland in California, has been told that by next year,
mhm.
their the racetrack ride, it has to switch from their gas powered vehicles to electric.
Oh, wow, interesting. Those are
Um,
heavier vehicles too, is the other thing that happens when you do that.
yeah.
Are there children in these cars? I just
Yeah, I mean, it's. I remember getting into those when I was 12, 13. I mean, they're basically go karts,
Right, right, right. You just, like,
but
smashing your front teeth on the front of
they're
yeah.
go karts with less environmental protections, and I think that's what got them in California. Is that
They're like single stroke carts or something like
yeah,
that, like little jeepneys.
yeah.
Amazing.
So,
Okay, I think we could
hey,
probably wrap it there.
I have a
Oh,
question
he's got
for
more
you.
stuff?
I got a
Uh-oh.
question for you.
Uh-oh.
I have this in-ear monitor that I'm using.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been great because it's I mean, I used to have AirPods, but sometimes they'd go in and out and
Yeah.
um
I think we talked about trucks going by sometimes, and it seemed like they were
yeah.
just
Yeah.
killing my headphones.
Um and I want to improve this. One of the I never remember the term to use to do a search. Ones that
Mm,
have the single cable, so it's just
right.
to one ear. So one of the in-ear monitors that's just a single, but a single. What's the phrase I'm looking for they're but usually the in-ear monitors have two ears. Um, but what's the term to look for a single ear cable?
Mm. Are they
How
called
do
single earpiece?
is it as simple as that? I don't know. I need to.
Yeah.
I feel
Or
like I need to
single
improve it because
driver?
this one's nice because it's one ear, but everything is always a little tinny.
Interesting. I'm literally just searching to see if
Yeah,
it's in there. Single-sided earphone,
because
monaural,
you were
listen only.
using those Shure.
Yeah, I still do use the Shure SE215s, which are maybe the cheapest you can get, and
Yeah.
basically I would just dangle one off the
Okay.
back, which is like
Yeah.
it's not the answer. You could also cut it off.
Yeah.
They're about $70 USD generally. They're probably on sale right now with Prime Day.
Yeah.
I would typically buy replacements for them. I read a report recently about people using a lot of in-ear monitors, which I do like not 24/7, but like a lot, even while I'm
Yeah.
sleeping. And I think the conclusion is that you should have your earwax cleaned every once in a while. What I'm getting at is I tend to buy new headphones, not just like the
Mhm.
comply inserts, basically. So I've got about 5 pairs of them. But
Yeah.
I think they're worth having around. They last forever.
Yeah.
They are cleanable. You can get the complies right
Yeah.
on Amazon. They do have a single version I just found, but it feels like it's just a replacement though. Like what you probably need is the MMCX cable that's one sided, like a
Mm.
mono MMCX
Yeah.
cable, and then just plug one into it because they're all the
Right.
same cable basically from
Yeah.
every manufacturer.
Yeah. With
Yeah,
the
you record in mono, right? On stereo for your mic. Sorry, we're way off
I
topic
don't
here.
know.
You probably do,
I
yeah.
do.
But
Yeah, I think
just
so.
make sure you're in mono the whole way through because one of the problems I had is that I didn't realize I was going stereo to mono on
Oh, okay.
Zoom or something like that. I was doing in
Right.
software, not in hardware. And as a result, when I got the one headphone in, I couldn't hear myself,
Ah, yeah.
which is puzzling. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't know where this goes to. What I think this is plugged into the Mac, and the Mac is
the Mac be stereo, yeah.
might be stereo out, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's probably mono in,
Yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Shall
Anyway,
we see y'all later and
yeah.
find the button? We did
Find
it.
the button.
All right, so 2 weeks,
Yeah.
we'll be back. feel
2
feel
weeks.
free to send Matt all of the hate mail or questions about a llama and GLM, which we say 5.3. Or are we gonna call it in 2 weeks 5.3 or will we out?
Oh, yeah. What's the next model? I don't know.
Let's just call it. I don't know either.
Yeah.
Fable 7.
Sounds good.
All right, folks.
All right. Bye.